Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
What do you got?
What I have here is an incredible piece of Hollywood history. This is a handwritten love letter from Judy Garland to Frank Sinatra.
All right. I would just assume if they were having a fling.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know a lot about Judy Garland, but it makes perfect sense for Frank Sinatra.
I got the letter from a major movie memorabilia collector's estate. This has really historical content in it. Nothing X-rated, but you can definitely tell there was an intimate relationship going on.
Okay, that is definitely cool. I know in the 60s, I mean, like one of the highest rated shows the network ever had was the Judy Garland, Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin special, something like that. And she had a pretty amazing career. I mean, most of the celebrities down there at the time sort of all hung out together because they were celebrities and it was really hard to go out in public.
Yeah.
Do you have this thing transcribed or anything? It's just...
Yes. Starts off, my darling, my sudden departure is a complete surprise to me, and I am deeply disappointed to have to miss our Monday and Tuesday date.
So was she married at this time?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. The other thing I want to mention is if you hold it up to the light, you'll see embossed within the paper, Judy Garland.
Well, that makes it really cool.
I mean,
it actually makes it a little bit cooler,
magic, yeah.
It was always rumored that Frank Sinatra and Judy Garland had a friendship that was more than a friendship. So it's pretty cool to actually see some proof that they did have a romantic relationship. Anything with their names on it is going to be worth some good money. I think it's really cool. How much you want for it?
$15,000.
$15,000.
Yes.
Quite frankly, sounds a little high. Do you mind if I have one of my guys look at it? I got some questions on value. I just want to get his opinion.
Yeah.
So if you don't mind hanging out a little bit, I'm going to give my friend a call.
Sure.
Have him take a look at it. Then we'll talk price. All right?
All right, sounds good.
Hang out for a few minutes.
Okay. I know it's absolutely real. The letter, it has her embossed name inside the paper. Everything just is overwhelming that it's authentic. But I don't mind anyone looking at it.
So this is the letter. It's from Judy Garland to Frank Sinatra, which is pretty cool. And he has the original envelope written to Frank Sinatra.
I mean, I'm just more intrigued by Sinatra-Garland because that was about 1948, 49 range. They became kind of friends, maybe lovers. Though the interesting thing is she was married, you know, to different guys all through that range.
It's a neat letter. I mean, it definitely, you read this letter, you don't even have to read between the lines. There's definitely something going on.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is it all legit?
Okay, the first thing I want to do is look at the ink on it. And what I look for is overlapping, kind of how the ink's on there. And it would appear to be fountain pen, no question about it. So we know the ink's live, that's a good thing. Here's a nice example, again, what she does with the handwriting. She's not fully connecting everything. It's sort of cursive, it's sort of not. And if you take a look here, we're starting to see some of the same type of patterns. We've got a bunch of positives here. We know the ink's live. The stories definitely jive about her and Sinatra, especially from that period.
So it's in her hand.
Yeah, unquestionably real, no doubt about it.
Okay, then my other big concern, what's it worth?
Her value has been kept down by the massive stuff of her out there. I mean, it's available. It's pretty spectacular in terms of Hollywood relationships, especially during that period. I would easily put the value ballpark at about $3,000, maybe $3,500, because the content is pretty important.
Okay, thanks, man.
Yeah, good to see you. Good luck, man. Thank you very much. I really know the marketplace for signature, and, you know, unfortunately, a lot of checks, documents on her that are kind of out there. It brings her signature value down a little bit, so I kind of base my opinion based on what her autograph goes for in the marketplace.
Steve really knows what he's talking about, so I'm gonna go with my guy. I'm looking at 1,500 bucks.
I mean, this is really an intimate communication between the two biggest icons probably in entertainment history. This is an extraordinary piece.
It's really cool, but I think you're being unrealistic with a price of $15,000. I think
Anybody who appreciates the history of Hollywood would just jump over the rainbow to get this thing, you know?
And I can make money at 1,500 bucks.
Yeah, I don't think we can work that out.
Okay. Good luck to you, man.
Thanks. $1,500 wasn't even in the right ballpark. I know at an auction it would sell probably upwards of $10,000.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. What can I do for you?
I'm interested in selling some Dennis Rodman jerseys. They're all game worn.
All right, you got the Bulls jersey?
I got Pistons.
Oh, the Bad Boys. That was the Bad Boy
That's
team.
the original. That's his very first. And I got a Mavericks. That's.
How did you get these?
I was once married to Dennis.
Whoa.
Dennis Rodman is the best rebounder ever in the NBA. Being a basketball wife, I did not fit the mold. But being married to Dennis, I did enjoy. We have a daughter together. I'm hoping to get about 8 to 10 grand for the whole group. I'm selling the jerseys today because I'm paying for my daughter's tuition.
How long were you with Dennis?
We were together 5 years before we got married, and our marriage didn't last long, maybe 3 years, so a total of 9 years.
Some people think of him as a bad boy dressed in drag with bright green hair, and some people remember him as a basketball player.
And that's what he was. That's what I remember him
That's
as.
what I remember him too, as a basketball player. I mean,
Yeah, hard worker, came
cool.
from nothing.
Rodman gets a lot of attention for the crazy things he does off the court, but he was an awesome player. 2 NBA championships with the Pistons, 3 with the Chicago Bulls. Sure, Jordan led the Bulls to victory, but Rodman fought in the heat of the battle, stealing those rebounds out of everyone's hand. So this says...
Dennis Worm, because he used to go by Worm. Look at that.
He could have been battling Jordan when he was wearing this one. You never know.
Yeah, Larry Bird, too. This one has actually sweat. This was right after he took it off.
Must have been a pretty brutal game.
Yeah,
I mean,
look at
there's
that. Isn't that
stains
crazy?
all over it. I know he wasn't eating hot dogs on the sideline.
No. This is the one that's signed to his daughter. It says, to Alexis, love you always.
So this stuff's pretty cool. What exactly do you want to do with it?
I want to sell it. I'd like to get $1,000 for the Mavericks, at least. The Pistons is the #1 seller. They're going up to $3,900. Chicago Bulls, between $3,500 and $3,900.
That's quite a lot of money, so I'm gonna call in a friend of mine, Jeremy.
Cool, yeah. I really don't have any problem with somebody coming in appraising them. There's a lot of sentimental value into the jerseys. I just hope they know.
And what do we got?
4 Dennis Rodman jerseys.
Wow. No player in the history of the NBA has been the center of more controversy than Dennis Rodman. On the court, he was a fierce rebounder and a perfect defender, best at his time. He had 5 NBA championships, 7 rebounding titles. He was Defensive Player of the Year twice, and he's the all-time NBA leader in rebounding percentage.
And don't forget Hall of Fame.
And he's a member of the Hall of Fame, absolutely. But then on the flip side, he also headbutted a referee, kicked a cameraman in the junk, got fined for about $1 million, and even wrestled Hulk Hogan during the '98 finals. Dennis Rodman is quite possibly the best defender and rebounder the game's ever seen. Since he's still in the public spotlight, he has a good following, and all of his antics actually help the value of some of his items. We're gonna start with the Mavericks jersey here. Now, as far as all the teams he played for, the Mavericks would probably be the least popular. Since he only played 12 games, he was ejected twice. But we have Pistons 10, and we have Dennis Worm Rodman. Seeing Worm, which is his nickname, is really cool. That's very uncommon on a lot of his items. All right, so we saved the best for last, the Bulls, one of the most popular teams in the NBA, 3 championships won with them. In '96, when he wore this jersey, it was Rodman's best season as a Bull. He averaged over 16 rebounds a game. Every year he was there, he won a championship, so it's a championship jersey as well. Bulls are one of the most popular teams in NBA history, and anything tied to a period where Michael Jordan played is always going to have a premium to it. Now, when we're talking about this signed Bulls jersey, we're talking about a one-of-a-kind. With the game-used aspect of it, plus the known inscription, this one could be worth the most. As a collection, though, altogether, I would say you're looking at around $6,500 with quite an upside to it.
Yeah.
All right, well, thanks for coming in.
You got it, man.
Talk to you next time.
All right.
So, what do you want for these?
No, I know the appraisal was $6,500, which sounded like a good price.
Okay, well, here's where I stand. As cool as this is, written out to your daughter's name, it's a lot harder to sell. This is just a game-worn jersey. This is gonna be easy to sell. The other 2 are gonna be easy to sell as well. Unfortunately, they're not gonna be easy to sell like this. I'm gonna have to get them framed and I'm gonna have to display them. After me framing them and putting them on here and paying someone to sell them, we're looking more like the $3,500 range.
That doesn't sound like a lot. Would you do 45 without the Mavericks?
35 is pretty much where I'm at.
How about 4,300 and everything?
You know what? I can't see passing this deal up. My boss is probably gonna kill me, but I think we got a deal.
Cool.
All right, deal.
Cool. $4,300 was a little low, but I don't have time to sell them online. It's a fair price. It's gonna help out with my daughter's tuition, and I'm really happy about that.
Hey, Ronnie Wood?
It is indeed.
Who? Ronnie Wood. He's sort of like the baby of the Rolling Stones. He came in there like 74, 75?
75, yeah.
Yeah. So he's only been with the band for like 33 years.
Only. I came down to the pawn shop today to sell my autographed self-portrait of Ronnie Wood. I want to sell this picture today because my wife wants to go on a second honeymoon. And whatever my wife wants, she gets.
The thing I love about the Stones is they've been together 53 years.
Yeah. That's longevity that you don't get these days.
I think it's because Mick Jagger's a vampire.
Before joining the Rolling Stones in the 1970s, Ron Wood was an established guitarist. He played with Jeff Beck and the Faces with Rod Stewart. But what a lot of people don't know, he's an artist. Some of his portraits have sold for tens of thousands of dollars. There's only like 15 or 20 guys that are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for 2 different bands, and he's one of them. So where'd you get it?
I used to work for a nightclub owner in the UK. He gave it me for my service with him in the company.
Okay, cool. We got self-portrait, 1, 83 of 100, signed Ron Wood. Generally, celebrities who start painting aren't really considered artists. The difference is with Ron Wood, he actually went to art school. He has painted for years and years and years. I think that's really cool, and I like the fact that it's a self-portrait. How much were you looking for?
I'd like 2,500, please, if you don't mind.
2,500 is basically right around what this is worth. That's what they retail for. If it sells, I'll give you that. But I'm thinking closer to $1,000.
How about 15?
If it's an original, they go for $10,000, $20,000.
Yeah, I can
But
bet.
this, you know, it's a lithograph, and I'm gonna have to reframe this. I'll give you 1,100. That's what I can do.
Okay.
All right, 1,100, man.
Thank you very much.
Write them up, chum.
All right, I'll meet you at the front counter.
Okay, buddy. I'm a little disappointed that I only got 1,100 for it, but still I can have a fantastic vacation and a really good time with my wife.
Hey, what do we got here?
Well, I've got a quirky British First World War poster.
Okay, don't keep more servants than you really need.
Yeah, that one I followed all my life, so...
Yeah, so have I.
I've been collecting military for years and bought a huge collection of British First War and Victorian items, and this poster is part of it. I set this aside because the wife liked it, but now I'm nearing retirement, so the wife says a lot of our stuff needs to go.
Interesting. We're used to seeing a lot of World War I posters here in the States. The most expensive one and desirable one of those is the girl that's dressed up in a Navy uniform. The header was, "I wish I was a man so I could join the Navy."
Sure.
And the British were basically doing the same thing. This was obviously printed before 1918. 1918 was when actual rationing went into place in England. So before that, they were suggesting you, don't drive as much because they needed the gasoline. Don't buy new clothes because they wanted more wartime production of military clothing than civilian clothing. And this was a time in England where if you were middle class, you usually had a cleaning lady or a handyman around the house if you had a big house. I mean, it's all legit. It's the right paper. You can see how it's aged a little bit. And also, the fake ones, they always put a year on it. So people go, look, it's, 100 years old.
Sure. Right. Yeah.
How much you want for it?
I was figuring around like 175.
That's a little much for this one. The World War I posters from England are all the ones with the battle scenes on it. It's neat. It's great history, but it's sort of blah compared to the other ones. And I'd give you $50 for it.
How about 75?
I'd give you $50. I'm being really generous here.
Well, the wife says we need to downsize and go green, which means convert to dead presidents. So I guess I'll accept your offer.
All right, we got a deal.
Sure, thank you.
I'll meet you right over there and I'll get you paid.
Okay, great.
All right, cool.
Well, I'm going to get some dead presidents, but not as many as I expected. I'm going to take the money and reinvest in a nice restaurant meal for the wife and myself.
Hey, how you doing?
Pretty good. When you walked in, I thought that was a cake.
I've got a diamond tiara.
Okay.
And it was formerly owned by Ida McKinley.
God, this is pretty amazing.
Who's Ida McKinley?
She was President McKinley's wife. There were stories about how he treated his wife better than any other person in Washington. If you said anything bad about his wife, you were immediately fired. I mean, there was just no two ways about it.
I'm here on behalf of my brothers. This piece was passed down to them. It was made by Dreiser and Son, a very prominent jewelry artist, and it's 220 diamonds. I'm asking $75,000. Would really like to stay pretty close to that number. 65, 70 might be able to do it.
Very, very interesting story. I'm surprised there hasn't been a book or a movie. She's was the only first lady with epilepsy, but it's a weird thing. I probably know more about Ida McKinley than I do about McKinley because I had epilepsy when I was a kid. As a kid with epilepsy, I researched people with the condition, and there was a lot of famous people. Julius Caesar, Napoleon, Edgar Allan Poe, and Ida McKinley. So I'm really interested in this piece. Basically, what we have a tiara that these things bolt onto.
Right, correct.
Okay? But also on the back, you have these little clips like this, so they could be a brooch also.
Exactly.
All right, now, it's really nice work, I'll tell you that. I mean, it seems from the time period, you know, it just intrinsic value here, diamonds and gold, you have like $6,000 or $7,000.
Wow, okay.
So what do you want to do with this?
I'd like to sell it. It's been passed down to my three brothers, and it's something that's kind of hard to split into threes.
Okay, so they stuck you with the job of trying to find someone to buy it?
Exactly, exactly.
What were you looking to get out of it?
$75,000.
I really, really like it. It's just putting a value on it is difficult.
But it's a multifaceted piece.
I agree with you. There's a lot more here than just diamonds and gold. It's got a story with it.
Right.
It belonged to a celebrity. So let me call my buddy Greg up. He deals in just really elaborate vintage jewelry. He will look at it, and we will try and figure something out. Okay?
Looking forward to it.
I love this piece. I know it's worth more than the parts. The question is, how much more?
Oh, there it is.
It's like the crown jewels of the United States.
It's an interesting looking piece. I'm the owner of Fred Layton. We specialize in vintage and antique jewelry, and we help people understand jewelry in the context of historical periods and also understand value. Late 1800s, you saw a lot of jewelry in nature motifs, a lot of bird feathers, wings. Pieces like this were quite popular. The diamonds are fine quality for the period. They're what you would expect to see. The idea that this was convertible and has the fittings for both the brooch and also the tiara, and I think that's kind of neat. So the question becomes, what do we know about the provenance? How can we substantiate the provenance of the piece itself?
It's seen in this official White House First Lady photograph. This is one of the events that was going on at the McKinley Museum, and it's featured there.
Well, certainly it does link in a fairly official way this piece to Ida McKinley. You know, how much value that adds it's a little bit of open to interpretation.
What would it go in your store?
Well, I think in a retail store like Fred Layton, we would see this piece sell for $75,000.
Okay, sort of what he's wanting. So we're gonna have to talk a little bit, but thanks, man, I appreciate it.
My pleasure. There are many collectors, people who have a fashionable sense of style, who would actually really appreciate that piece, both as a piece of jewelry and also because of its history.
So what are you thinking?
I'll give you 35 grand.
It's a lot of money. After hearing what he has to say, I think we've got to get more. You know, if it does retail for 75.
You're not gonna be able to retail it. I mean, what's your bottom dollar?
I think I've got to stick around up at the 75,000 mark.
There's no way. There's no way. There's very, very few people in this world who can pull that money out of their pocket and buy a tiara.
I gotcha. What's the best you can do?
40.
I think we're probably a little bit too far apart at this point right now, but could I ever come back?
You can come back. You know what I mean?
The offer stand?
No. No, economies change.
Yeah,
I mean, they really do.
understand.
I mean, I'd go 43. That would be it. 43 is a fair offer.
That's a great offer, and I appreciate it. I'll be back in touch with you.
Okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you very much.
You know, I got a little lost in the history in this thing. I'd love to have it, but the most I can go is 43,000. Any more will just be gambling.
This is stupid. Open the box.
All right, I'm not gonna give anybody any money, because no one guessed.
Screw the money. Open the damn box.
All right, you guys have to close your eyes. What's in this box proves what a masterful negotiator I am. After a really fun day of torturing these guys, I guess it's time to let the cat out of the bag. Closed, here we go. Open.
You look like a doofus.
Queen Rick Harrison.
This is Ida McKinley's tiara. I tried to make a deal with the guy, and the guy said no and left. And lo and behold, get a phone call, I got the tiara. Someone changed their mind.
What do we pay for it?
40, was it 43 or 44,000? Something like that.
Oh my God. Who in the hell's Adam McKinley's?
What did you just say?
Adam McKinley's.
It's Ida McKinley.
Ida's McKinley's.
Sing the happy birthday song right now so I know you didn't just have a stroke.
What do we have?
This is pretty cool. It's an amazing piece of history.
Okay.
These are Mickey Rooney love letters written to his wife when he was entertaining the troops during World War II.
Which wife was that? Because I know he had a gazillion of them.
The letters contain some pretty funny stuff. They're gushing with love. My honey, my baby, I love you, I miss you. Some of them are burnt, but I got 14 in fantastic condition, and the burnt ones are readable. Hoping maybe I can get about 8,000 for them.
Those are incredible. How many times was this guy married?
8 times.
8 times.
This is his second wife, Betty Jane Baker. They had their first and second child together. 90% of the letters is saying how much he loves her, and then probably another 10% talking about their baby that they had, and that's Mickey Rooney Jr., and they're all written in 1945.
God, this is pretty amazing. Where in the world did you get them?
Turns out that my grandma actually rented the house that Betty Jane was living in and found them in the attic, and they've been passed on down from my mom to me.
Okay, and looks like someone tried to burn them.
At one point, my grandmother's vicious ex-boyfriend tried to burn the house down, but they're actually still readable.
Okay, sounds like your grandmother had relationships like Mickey Rooney did. Yeah. Mickey Rooney was an odd cat. I mean, he was thrown on stage when he was a little kid because he was like in vaudeville. He was actually in some silent movies. And then he became like a megastar in the 1930s. Mickey Rooney was one of Hollywood's most famous actors. He served in the European theater during World War II. And back then, obviously, no one had emails or text. I know it's hard to believe, but people actually hand-wrote letters to their loved ones.
Every one of them is addressed to Mrs. Mickey Rooney.
Lover girl, we leave for Berlin Thursday the 19th to play for the Prez. That's cool. They were doing what was called Jeep tours back then. So they put him to work entertaining the other troops. And then after World War II, you know, he kept his career going, but it was nothing like it used to be.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming you want to sell these?
I'd love to sell them. I'm thinking about 8,000.
Some of these can go for a lot of money.
Just pictures signed by Mickey Rooney were going pretty high, and I mean, I've got almost 40 letters here.
Let me call a friend of mine. This guy is the #1 signature expert in the country. And he'll take a look at them. He'll be able to figure out what they're worth.
Yeah, not a problem.
Okay, hang out. I'll give him a call. Get him down here.
All right. You know, I'm actually really excited that he's calling in an excerpt because they're so unique that just nobody has any answers for me. So it'd be pretty awesome to hear what he has to say.
Let's just random grab a few of these. Those aren't your lip marks, are they?
No.
Okay, so he wrote this in July 12th, 1945. Love to everyone, especially you, your daddy. Interesting. Nice writing. Here we are again. Your daddy, here's a kiss. And then he puts an X. Thank God he didn't put his lip marks on that one. This is actually signed.
Says Mickey.
Mickey. Okay. I have a few examples I could pull out and just kind of compare to see what we're dealing with here. You know, Mickey did sign a lot. His signature's out there, and this probably is a pretty good period example. I mean, it's a little later in life. Pretty simple signature, really nice, every letter. What I see are some similarities here between the two. His M kind of had a right angle pitch, not that far, but a little loopy, that's still consistent. Especially the front of the envelopes where he actually wrote Mrs. Mickey Rooney, which is really important because on a lot of these letters he just signed Mickey or Daddy or some strange nicknames. So, you know, based on everything I've seen here, there's no question that this stuff is real.
Okay. Is Mickey Rooney sellable anymore?
That's a great question. I think the letters as a whole, as a group here, everything I've kind of seen, you know, you're looking at about $1,500 to $2,000.
Okay.
I mean, he had a storied life, but at the same time, and no offense, we're not talking about Frank Sinatra or Clark Gable. We're talking about Mickey Rooney.
Okay,
Yeah.
thanks, dude.
Yeah, sure, good luck. Take care.
Yeah.
Thanks. Basically, in the autograph world, Mickey Rooney's autograph isn't that highly sought after. But, I mean, he talks about buying stuff for his wife. He asks about his child. And a real hardcore fan of his would want that stuff.
This is the problem. You just can't take this thing and put it in a showcase, okay? It's got to be framed. It's got to be everything. And by the time I pay labor and I pay everything else, I'm going to lose money. I think your best bet is to get on the internet and sell them yourself one at a time. It's going to be a lot of work. Okay? Thanks for coming in, though.
Well, sorry you're missing out there. I can't believe he didn't make an offer on them, but, you know, hopefully I can make even more, and then he'll be sorry.
Well, this here's a 1960 Cushman Eagle.
Okay.
This one's a 1957 Cushman Eagle, but it's got a highly modified engine, aftermarket carburetor and cam.
These things are pretty sweet.
If you took this around the block, you would really be scared. You're on your way about 45 to 50 mile an hour. This is so fast.
Yeah, these are a little too much for me to be driving.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I found them in a barn, a lot of rust, no paint, and restored them. I don't have room to store all my toys, so I need to sell them. The least I'll take is $7, but I'll listen to what they have to say.
This is awesome. Cushman has been around for a long time. It started in the early 1900s by the Cushman cousins.
Yeah.
They were making farm motors, and I know they make a lot of the carts that would be just for industrial use around the farm and warehouses. Yeah, these were like the scooters of their day. I'm imagining when you got these, they were probably rusted out and in pretty bad shape.
Yeah, they were. It was completely disassembled. Everything has been sandblasted. The frame has been repowder coated. I built it mainly for a driver, somebody to have fun on.
Okay. Cushman scooters became popular back in the 1940s. They were especially popular with high school and college students. It was a less expensive way to get around than buying a car, and you could get somewhere faster than riding a bike. Tell me what you want to do with them.
Well, I want to sell them.
How much are you looking to get?
I'd like to have $3,650 out of this one and $4,500 out of this one.
The paint job is not too good, I'm gonna tell you that.
I
It's got
know.
that going against it. If I was to sell them, I would have to take some of that price off because someone's gonna wanna buy these and probably repaint them, you know?
Right.
I could do $5 grand for the pair. What do you think about that?
I believe at $6,500, you could make a little bit of money. My wife would be happy.
Believe it or not, I'm not concerned with making your wife happy. I got a boss to make happy.
Yeah.
If you want to get rid of them, I can take them for $5,000, but that's really
Yeah.
going to be top of the dollar for me.
No, can't do it. Can't do it.
All right, well,
Yeah.
thanks for bringing them by.
You bet.
All right, I'll get the door for you.
Okay, thank you. I thought his offer of $5,000 was a joke. I've got more in parts than that. I'll take them back home and I'll ride the blue one and try to sell the red one.